many of you, when you are communicating this information, are communicating it via a pitch document, or you're doing a PowerPoint, so something like this. So it's really important we work out what we need to do with those to get it right. So the pitch documents, do's or don'ts, let's just capture them. If you're walking somebody through a pitch document, what's best practice? Yes, absolutely, direct where to look on the pitch document. Often there's too much information there, so it's just too hard. But if there is, what you need to do is make sure you need to point where they're looking at. What else is good practice? Do's or don'ts?
Don't read it.
Yes, do not read it. If the information is very, very heavy, it's very hard not to. But don't read it, because otherwise they'll just go, look, you might as well have just emailed me it. I could have read it in my own time. The other thing you need to think about with pitch documents is there tends to be a standard company pitch document. Now, looking around this room, I'm not seeing a standard employee in this room. I'm seeing lots of wonderful, unique individuals. It is really important you put together a document that you can deliver in your words and not in standard template form, because you will not be able to carry it off. Because what this should do, this should support the conversation you are having. And if you think the best conversation you can have with a pitch document, rather than it being a company pitch document of 30 pages, you think 5 pages would be better for you and better for your style, then you are better doing it. Yeah, it is designed to support your conversation.
Is if there are some standard, we have to have this information in every pack because it's our consistent projecting best company practice. There's, this is how we operate, and there's some standard things. Then that becomes a separate part to the report. So there's the main body, the 5-page pitch bit, which is your personal, here I am, sharing with you the journey we've had together, and here's the appendices. If you need to understand it, our process and procedures. If you need, it's all there. But in terms of our specific discussion and our value proposition around what we've been talking about, here's the pitch document bit. This comes back to Mark Twain. I don't have time to write a short letter, so I write a long one instead. I don't have time to write a short proposal, so I write a long one instead. It's so much easier for me to drag and drop from the shared server, from an existing document, than for me to think carefully about what's going to close this deal? Why might they buy? What's the one little thing that I have to say that means they'll go ahead on this $100,000 deal? It takes more thought, it takes more crafting, it takes more conscious effort than pulling together standard template documents. That's all we're saying. I absolutely get that, process, procedure, efficiency, standards, all those things that make your business highly successful. I'm not making any suggestion you should get rid of those at all. No. We're suggesting how you communicate to somebody such that they would choose to buy from you. How could we make it easy for them to realize that a decision to buy from you is the obvious only decision I should make? And I think in this area of communication, less is more. Like you've always got the detail. If somebody says, yeah, but how did you get to that number? You've got the detail. Yeah, but why do you think that's what you can do for us? You've got the detail. But in terms of, this is what 6 months has come to. Here it is, 5 words on a piece of paper. That's what it's about.
So very quickly, PowerPoint, the do's and don'ts when you're standing up here doing PowerPoint. So if you're doing group presentations, it's good that you stand either side of the PowerPoint, so you're embracing the PowerPoint. When you are not presenting, stay engaged in the conversation. So you need to be looking at the person speaking, looking at the audience to see their reactions, and looking when they're pointing something out on the presentation. But you must stay engaged. When you are talking to the PowerPoint, you need to guide the person as to where they need to be looking. So you might say you're a bit like the weather person. You're not actually going to be touching the screen, but you're doing virtual pointing. Now, really importantly, if you want somebody to look at the screen, you have to look at the screen. Because the gentleman here, we're making lovely eye contact, but he's not looking at the screen. So
Who was it? So it's, ladies and gentlemen, please look at the slide. And so by the fact that I bring my hand to my eyes and I take my eyes and my hand to where I want you to look, you all follow the eyes and go to the slide. So once I've got you there, I can now look back at you because you're there.
All of the slides should have a key takeout along the bottom. That key takeout is spelling out what the benefits are to your audience with this information. But it's not just restating the numbers. It means what does this mean, and spell out the benefits to the audience.